We're going to start with two chord shapes, hopefully two familiar chord shapes. First one is the D shape. If you play a normal D chord down here in first position, it looks like this. It's on the fretted part is just on 3 strings, which of course you can add a 4th string like this with your little finger. If you add that string, you've got a movable chord. As long as you just play the strings that you're fretting, there's a D sharp and an E and an F and so on. The second string is the root of it. For example, I'm playing an F chord right now, and the second string is an F note. So that would be one way to place this chord. Another way to place it, some people think of this D chord, this D-shaped chord, as like a barred C, like this. Now that's a very awkward chord, which I don't like to play, and I don't think too many people do like to play it, but there's the root on the 5th string. A lot of people learn the notes on the 6th and the 5th string before they learn any other notes on the guitar, and if you're one of those people, you could visualize this chord that way. The 2 frets higher, there's that 5th string, and that identifies where it is. Anyway, when you've got this D shape and you move it around the fretboard, you've got a movable chord and you can use it in any key. And there are all kinds of things you can do with it. For example, first obvious thing is arpeggios. Arpeggios is just when you play up and down the notes of a chord in a harp-like fashion, like this. And it can be up or down or both or in and out. And you can add that 4th string. So you could create little licks like. There's a million things you can do, but it gets better when you start changing the chord around a little bit. For example, you can add the little finger to the 1st string. Now we have this it's a suspended sound when you do that. We're playing an F, and this is an F sus. So you could start a tune with. And it could be on and off like that. It could be a hammer-on and a pull-off or a trill. Same thing with this note here. Your little finger can add a note on the 3rd string, and you can do a hammer-on. It could be a pull-off or a trill. When you're reaching down here to add this 4th string with your little finger, you can bring your index finger up here to the 4th string, and then you can do a hammer-on there. So these are all little add-ons that can be hammer-ons or pull-offs or just notes that you add on to create licks. There's already an infinite number of licks that could be created with just those few little ideas that I threw out there. But here's one more. You can take the 2nd and 3rd string of your D formation and slide it up and back. Now we've got licks like this. So there's a million licks available to you just from that one little formation. Now we're going to look at another chord formation, and that's what I call an A formation. Most people play a 1st position A chord like this. If you moved it up a fret to A sharp or B flat, you'd have to bring the 1st string with you because it was open back here. So you'd have to do this. Now you have a 4-string movable chord, just like that D formation. I'm going to call it an A formation because it's so related to this A chord. So here's your A formation. I'll often play it on just the top 3 strings like this. Because I have very fat fingers, so I'll often play the 3 and the 4 together with this finger. So now we've got a new movable chord, and the 3rd string is the root of this chord. This is a B flat, you're playing a B flat chord. Here it's an A, so you're playing an A chord. If I go up here to the 5th fret, 3rd string is a C, so now you're playing a C chord. You know what else? If you're one of those people that, like I said, lots of people learn the notes on the 5th and 6th string, this is the same as the 5th string, because remember an A, if you move it up, you can also get this kind of B flat or B or C. Now, so you can sort of relate this shape to the 5th string back there, if that helps you. So now we have this movable A shape. If we play it up here, it's a D chord, but an A formation, okay? So what can we do to it? Well, we can bend down and cover the first string like that. That's an A6. That's a neat sound. Could be a hammer-on or a pull-off. And of course, don't forget there's still just arpeggios, so you can go. You can also go 1 fret higher. That turns your A formation into an A7th formation. Now we're playing a D7th, because remember this is a D up here at the 5th fret. So you can also catch this second string as well as the first string back here and then hammer on to the second. So you've got. If you hammer on to the second string 1 fret higher than it is in the chord, now you've got a sus sound, a suspended. That would make this a D sus. So you can go. That's just with arpeggios. You can also do it with hammer-ons or pull-offs. Now you start combining these and you get all kinds of licks. You can also do a slide similar to the one that you did, slide up and back 2 frets on the D formation. Here's one that works for this formation. You go and then come back to the A formation. So now we've got a whole bunch of possible licks that we can do with 2 formations, the A formation and the D formation. Let's put them together in a song and make something happen. We're going to start with a country tune, with one of Hank Williams' more famous tunes, Jambalaya, which is his song about everything Cajun. He crammed everything that he could think of that was related to the Cajuns into a song, and it's very famous, and Cajun and Zydeco bands perform it all the time, as well as country and bluegrass bands, and there's been pop versions of it too. So it's just a 2-chord song. We're doing it in the key of A, so the 2 chords are A and E. The first time we play it, we're going to make our A chord be this D formation up here at the 9th and 10th frets. Remember, sometimes we might even go into the 11th fret to get this 4th string lick. And the other chord in the song is E, and we're going to play the A by doing that A formation at the 7th and 9th frets. So those are our 2 chords, the D shape and the E shape. And at first, when I sing a few verses, I'll just be doing little arpeggios and backup licks, and then I'll show how you can actually get the melody of the song, or at least something resembling the melody, a lead break that has some of the melody in it, out of these chords, and it'll require some of the little slides and add-ons and hammer-ons and pull-offs that we just went through. Now, I'd mentioned before that when there's a lead guitar player, there's got to be a rhythm guitar player, or at least a rhythm instrument of some kind. So my rhythm guitar player is going to be my son Zachary, who you'll see sitting beside me playing an acoustic guitar and strumming chords. He's actually an excellent guitar player, and he is relegated to the role of rhythm player now, and that's the pair that you will see in a moment. So we're going to do Jambalaya in the key of A up here around the 7th, 9th, 8th, 9th, and 10th frets.